Ladies and gentlemen, we meet again towards Parashat Va'era, which has a very interesting and central point in theology, in philosophy, and in ethics. One of the most central questions in the whole of the Tanakh, which goes around the issue of self-choice, of free choice. We have free choice. The angels don't have free choice. And neither do the animals. They work by instincts. We as human beings have free choice, bechira chofshit. And how is it possible? How is it possible that Pharaoh did not have bechira chofshit? The pasuk says, "Vayechazek Hashem et lev Pharaoh." It says it a few times in our parsha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu hardened the heart of Pharaoh and therefore brought on him more and more plagues, more and more difficult plagues. So why should he get these more difficult plagues? I mean, he didn't harden his heart by himself. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem hardened his heart by Chazek Hashem therefore. So why should he get these punishments if it wasn't up to him? Did HaKadosh Baruch Hu take away his self-choice? Was that a moment that we can actually question throughout the centuries? Maimonides, the Rambam speaks about it a lot. Many great rabbis throughout the centuries deal with this question. Did HaKadosh Baruch Hu take away Pharaoh's free will and free choice? And if so, why was he punished if he had no choice? If you don't punish a robot is programmed, you don't punish it because it's programmed. It does good things or it does bad things. You can't really give him either reward or punishment because he's programmed. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually hardened his heart, so he was programmed to do bad, and therefore why is he punished? Okay, there are many answers to this. They basically divide up into two groups, these answers. One group says, yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took away his free will and his free choice. And one group says, no, he didn't take away his free will and free choice. Let me explain to the first one. Rashi says, yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took away his free will and his free choice, but there's a good reason why, because he hardened his heart so much himself. He had such a hard heart that if that's the way you want to do it, I'll let you do it, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You harden your heart? Go ahead, I'll help you. I'll help you. In fact, the Ramban in the beginning, Nachmanides in the beginning of his explanation here of this pasuk, he says, he points out quite easily that the first 5 plagues, it says that Pharaoh hardened his own heart, vayachbed Pharaoh et libo, and therefore, as a consequence of this, the second 5, it says, vayachbed Hashem et levo. And therefore, you do 5, okay, the consequences are, I'll give you another 5 yourself. So yes, he took away his free choice, but that was as consequence of his own deeds. There is a second perush, which goes from the Midrash Rabbah, that explains that's not consequences. This is the punishment. The punishment, part of the punishment of a Rasha, of a bad man, part of the punishment of a person who misuses his free will and free choice. His free choice and free will are taken from it. And that's the way punishments work. I mean, look at people who misuse their free will and free choice nowadays. They put into prison. Why prison? Because in a prison, your free choice and your free will is taken away from you because you misuse it. So in the same way, the Midrash Rabbah says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yes, took away Pharaoh's free will and free choice as part of his punishment. So we have part of the consequences, part of the punishment. Yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took away his free will. However, there's a second way of looking at it, which is no. On the contrary, which is towards the end of Nachmanides, he brings a beautiful explanation, which is if somebody asks for my watch and I say, no, I'm not going to give it to you. No, I want your watch. No, I'm not going to give it to you. And he starts twisting my arm. I said, I'm not going to give it to you. And twists and twists and twists. Then I say, you know what? Take my watch, just leave my arm. Am I giving him my watch out of my own free will? No, I just wanted to let my arm go. Says Maimonides, you know what? HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him a plague and another plague and another plague and another plague. He was twisting his arm. He was afraid that, you know what? Pharaoh will let the Jews go, not out of his free will, just to stop the plagues. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in fact, hardened his heart in spite of the plagues in order to give him back his free choice, to balance out. He was going through such difficult plagues that under these circumstances every normal person would give in. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had hardened his heart to give him back his free choice under these circumstances of the plagues. And finally, I want to share with you the Meshech Chochmah, who says, like the Ramban, just opposite, and says, since Pharaoh had such a hard heart, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to put on so many plagues and so many difficult plagues because his heart was so hard. He needs so many and so difficult plagues in order to balance out and give him a free choice under the circumstances of having such a hard heart. Ladies and gentlemen, free choice and free will is the central hinge of Jewish thought. Any Jewish book talks about this as the most important thing. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way we choose, our choices define us. What we do is who we become. And I must end on an educational note, which is many people say this generation, teenagers today, with access to a smartphone and access to a credit card, and the combination of these two, they can order delivery of any of the worst things in the world within 15 minutes in most places in the world. So you know, everything is so accessible. So you know, how could they concentrate? How could they not fall? How could they stay on the right derech with such incredible temptations? And therefore, some people say this generation is gone because it has such temptations. And I want to say that this is kfir. This is, to say such a thing, not only is it not true, but it goes against Jewish belief, why we believe in free choice. And therefore, when we were youngsters, we could do bad things only so far because we didn't have a smartphone or a credit card. So we could do bad things so far, and we could do good things so far. And that's as far as we could do it. But if this generation so easily can do such terrible things with a smartphone and with a credit card and make things so negative and so accessible, we must believe they can do good things with a mobile phone and with a credit card equally, because there is free choice and everything is balanced. And we have to believe in this generation. It's a fantastic generation with incredible potential, much greater potential than we had when we were kids, because it goes in both directions all the time. Wishing you Shabbat Shalom.